What is good, everyone? Poke here, bringing y'all another anime video. A lot of y'all may not know it if you don't follow me on Twitter and Instagram, which you should totally check out, but I am literally one of the biggest bunny girl senpai fans, specifically about the main girl, my sakurajima. I watched the series for the first time back in maybe October or November of 2022, and the moment I saw the first episode, I knew this would be a series I love for all eternity. So I kinda made it a tradition to rewatch the series on Valentine's Day, times that I am sad, or whenever I'm bored. I love this series so much, I own most of the light novels, with a few missing in which I'll collect someday. So I want to discuss my overall thoughts on the anime series as a whole, since there's a possibility we might or might not get a new season anytime soon. And I just mostly want to discuss this as someone who's really in love with the series to my community basically. I'll mostly discuss some pros and pretty few cons, ranging from the characters and the morals each of them experience in the story. I'll try my best to fit all my thoughts into each section, and this video might be pretty long compared to my other videos, and it'll probably drive away a lot of my viewers. So I recommend sharing this with any my sons supremacists or any anime fans in general. One last thing I want to mention is spoilers, of course. If you don't know where to watch this anime, it's on almost every streaming service, and it has a movie, but unlike the anime, it's only on totally legal websites, so that's the only way you'll watch it. Without further ado, let's start the review. Generally, in my opinion, the character of a series is the most essential part of a story, and it's honestly the main thing I look for when starting said series. Stories should aim to have a good plot that interests the viewer, of course, but characters are just as important. Sakuta, the main protagonist, is probably one of the most realistic and admirable protagonists of any slice of life anime. Yes, there are other good slice of life protagonists like Hachiman, Oreki, and Tadano, but I think Sakuta goes above them all. Sakuta is the kind of guy to see someone getting bullied for doing something dumb on accident, and he'd do something even dumber but on purpose, so the negative attention will go on to him instead. Sakuta may seem like he doesn't want to do anything, finds everyone annoying, but that's far from the truth. Throughout the series, he helps many people who deal with puberty or adolescent syndrome for no reason, as he initially doesn't even benefit from them, like with Koga, where he's basically dragged into helping her because of the time loop and all, and has to go along with being her boyfriend and shit. He only does it because he sees his sister Kaede in her. It's even told to the viewer from Koga that even if the girls he helped weren't attractive, he'd still help them, and that's why I absolutely like Sakuta's sassy but caring personality. Moreover, the girls of the anime are probably the selling point of the entire series, especially my son. I could honestly make a 10-minute analysis on my son's character, in which I can probably do if this video reaches 50 likes, but in short, my son is a really amazing person. In her first appearances, she is seen to be cold-hearted, sort of like a queen to Sakuta, showing no interest in him, but as the relationship continues, we get to see a new side of my son. A caring side where she occasionally gets flustered by Sakuta's witty personality, and this dynamic is what carries the series in my opinion. Tomoe Koga, the second girl of the series, is younger than Sakuta and is from the country, who didn't want to be an outsider, so she tried her best to be her better self through looks and friendship, the polar opposite of Sakuta's character. Their first encounter is literally when they crash butts to each other and are taken to the police. Tomoe and Sakuta's relationship builds over time as they have to be fake dating and be in a relationship, so school drama basically, honestly. And over time, Koga develops feelings for Sakuta, but as we all know about secondary girls with short hair, she gets rejected. Koga is honestly pretty interesting, as her desires to not be left out is pretty relatable to a lot of people, including myself. And we get to see her stray from this must-be preppy girl to someone who can like herself and care for her friends. Real Futaba, one of Sakuta's only friends in the series, is the character who gives the exposition on what puberty syndrome is and gives these physics theories that relates to each girl. But she is also a character who deals with isolation and having to shut herself and her desires away. Futaba likes the best friend of Sakuta, Kunimi, but he has a girlfriend who has to hide her feelings from him and has to go home with no mom or dad, and as they're in another country. Her puberty syndrome revolves around literally two forms of herself. One that deals with her fear of being alone, and the other deals with insecurities ranging from her body to not being good enough to her friends. Sakuta helps both Futabas by going over their boundaries by having her go out more and hanging out with Kunimi, to where Futaba has to accept both sides of herself and that they are just as important to her character. Futaba is honestly the most realistic out of all the characters from the series, as we get to see her struggle with real life issues many people deal with. Noraka Toyohama is Mai-san's half-sister who deals with an inferiority complex on Mai-san, as she feels she can't surpass her in anything. With Noraka switching bodies with Mai-san, she gets to experience the amount of pressure that's put on to Mai-san, and the same goes with Mai-san in Noraka's body. In the end, they learn to accept each other and realize they do actually care for one another, and it's a happy end for both the sisters. Noraka is pretty underrated in my opinion, as I feel people overlook the fact the amount of pressure that's put on her from both her family to surpass her and Mai-san herself, whose existence was solely built on the fact that Mai-san's dad wanted to get revenge on her mom by making another child prodigy, and have a ton of empathy for Noraka. Kaede Asagawa is the younger sister of Sakuta, who suffered from puberty syndrome to the point where she lost all her memories and gained the fear of going out in public and the internet itself. Kaede is adorable, but Kaede eventually knows that she'll have to leave the nest and that not everything can stay the same. So she tries her best to conquer her fear of going out to even being able to go to school. When Kaede gets to achieve this, however, the Kaede we knew disappears and we get to see Kaede's true self. Kaede's arc always has a special place in my heart, as I very much relate to and even still experience what Kaede goes through, and her dynamic with Sakuta is very wholesome. Finally, Makinohara Shoko, the woman who got Sakuta to where he is from simply just being there with him in his darkest times. Her story is very complex, as her puberty syndrome goes full Tokyo Revengers with time traveling and shit, but I also say this is the highlight of her arc. Shoko was a very sick child and was told she probably wouldn't even be able to live till middle school, and so her puberty syndrome started because she wanted to grow up and become an adult. She finds love through Sakuta and is able to live due to a heart transplant from Sakuta. But Shoko would rather have him live rather than her, and as many of you watch the movie, Mai-san instead dies and takes the hit. Sakuta is able to prevent himself from dying, but at the cost of Shoko. Sakuta visits Shoko and helps finish her homework, which fixes her puberty syndrome, as she is finally able to know what to put on it, and because Mai-san stars in a film similar to Shoko's life, people become heart donors, and so she is saved. Shoko's story is kinda crazy, but it's honestly pretty interesting in how it helps people understand that it's better to enjoy life through the present, and you should worry about your future, but also be calm about it and let time do its thing. Some cons I'll say about the series I absolutely love is that it kind of relies too much on exposition than naturally giving us the information over time. As a light novel reader, the anime did take out a lot of stuff to fit each book into 3 episodes, but I feel as if a casual viewer saw the series, they would definitely be confused on what the fuck puberty syndrome is. One of my friends certainly was, and I know many more were, when asked about their opinion on the series. A way I'd incorporate explaining puberty syndrome is still giving Futaba her theories, the physics theories, and relating it to each girl, but also the girl's point of view of how they experienced it and the effects it has on them naturally rather than them just explaining it. One last con I would give is how characters are kinda underutilized. For example, I think they could have brought back my son's mom in Nodoka's arc, as she could have probably given us information that even both characters might have not known, and her overall opinion on Nodoka. Kunimi should have been given an important role besides Futaba's arc, as it doesn't make sense how he's one of the only important side characters who didn't get puberty syndrome. Yes, he might seem like the perfect high schooler, but that's what I mean. He's too perfect that there's something he doesn't discuss with anyone but keeps to himself. But yeah, those are just some thoughts I gained from my many rewatches of the series. I probably had more if I only wrote them when watching it, but these were some I could think of. Overall, Bunny Girl Senpai is an amazing series that I think I'll be rewatching when I'm in my 80s in a nursery home, with hopefully season 2 and even 3 being available as well. This is, in my opinion, the perfect slice of life anime. Thank you to anyone who bared with me through this long ass video, and hearing my thoughts on the series I very much enjoy. As always, basically what I do here on this channel is that since YouTube has removed dislikes from everyone's videos, I just reveal how many dislikes to likes I got on my video. So my last video got 18 likes and 0 dislikes. Thank you everyone. We're back to the average 50 views per video now, but at least the community feedback has grown better, which has made me happy. And yeah, as I said before, if this video gets like 50 likes, I'll make an analysis on my son's character. So share this video to as many people as you can, as well as if we can get to 10,000 subscribers before 2023, I will do a face reveal. Also, the schedule for the upcoming videos is one revolving around Komi-san, the sequel to my Tokyo Revengers theory, and possibly a My Dress Up Darling video. So yeah, as you all know, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment on here anything you want. Hell, even comment your grocery list even. And follow my social media. And yeah, goodbye everyone.